He was 41 years old, 3 months behind on rent, with $380 to his name, and a boss half his age who couldn't even pronounce his last name. 2 years later, one number in Marcus Webb's bank account was bigger than his boss's entire net worth. This is how it happened. Marcus stocked shelves at a hardware store in Ohio, working the closing shift nobody wanted. $12 an hour, 20 years in the workforce, almost nothing to show for it. His manager Tyler was 26, drove a brand new truck, and talked about his rental property like it was nothing. One night, restocking paint cans, Marcus overheard Tyler on the phone bragging about that property. He stood there holding a gallon of eggshell white, doing math on his own life, and felt something crack open. Not jealousy exactly, something closer to shame. He sat in his car that night and asked himself one question. What if the problem wasn't how much he earned, but what he did with the 5 minutes after he earned it? Marcus wasn't a finance guy. He'd never read a business book. But that night, he built something small. He called it his 5-minute rule. 2 minutes reviewing yesterday's spending. 2 minutes making one financial decision. 1 minute moving money into savings. Every morning before his shift, without exception. The first month, he saved $60. It felt pointless, but he kept going because quitting felt worse than trying. By month 3, the habit changed shape. It stopped being about cutting and started being about noticing. He noticed 3 forgotten subscriptions draining his account. He noticed a credit card charging him $40 a month in interest alone. He moved that balance to a lower rate option and redirected the savings into a plain, low-cost index fund a coworker's uncle had mentioned once at a cookout. His coworkers teased him at first. Warren Buffett over here, they joke, watching him check his phone on break instead of scrolling. Marcus didn't mind. He used to avoid looking at his bank balance entirely. Now he checked it every morning without flinching. Then came the test. 7 months in, his car broke down. The repair bill came to $420. 6 months earlier, that number would have meant another maxed-out card, another spiral. This time, Marcus paid it straight from the small emergency fund his 5 minutes had quietly built. No panic. No new debt. He sat in the repair shop parking lot and realized the habit wasn't just working, it had already changed how he survived a bad day. Around that same time, Tyler passed him over for a shift lead promotion, giving it to a newer hire instead. Wasn't sure you wanted more responsibility, buddy, Tyler said. Marcus said nothing. He didn't need the title. He was building something Tyler couldn't see on a schedule. At month 10, Marcus discovered the store offered a retirement match he'd never signed up for free money, sitting untouched for 2 decades. He enrolled that same day, kicking himself for the years he'd missed, but grateful he hadn't missed it forever. Then, a new hire named Dylan joined his shift, watching Marcus stay calm through every closing rush. "Why don't you ever seem stressed about money?" Dylan asked. "I stopped worrying about the big picture," Marcus told him, "and started paying attention to the small one. 5 minutes a day. That's it." Dylan laughed. "That actually works? Ask me in a year." A year later, Dylan didn't have to ask. Marcus had negotiated a modest raise using the confidence the habit had given him. His contributions, boosted by the employer match and steady growth in that same index fund, had compounded into something real, not flashy, not lottery money. Just 2 years of small decisions stacked on top of each other, month after month. 2 years to the day since that night in the parking lot, Marcus sat in his car again, but this time he opened his banking app without dread. His retirement and investment accounts added together had quietly surpassed what Tyler owed on that truck and that rental property combined. For the first time on paper, the stock boy was worth more than his boss. He never bragged about it. He didn't need to. He still gave himself 5 minutes every morning, not out of fear anymore, but out of habit. The kind that had rebuilt his entire life, one quiet decision at a time. Marcus hadn't beaten his boss with a bigger paycheck. He'd beaten him with 2 years of decisions nobody was watching. And that's the part nobody tells you about wealth. It's rarely built in dramatic leaps. It's built in the boring 5 minutes you choose to show up for, again and again, until one day you look up and realize you're not behind anymore. You're ahead. This story is a work of fiction created for entertainment purposes and is not financial advice.